Hey Papper people, super excited for this video. I'm gonna be exploring APAP. So if you don't know what APAP is, the difference between APAP and CPAP. CPAP, continuous positive air pressure. You have a single pressure all night long. It's on that pressure all night long. It's not gonna deviate from that. Now an APAP is an automatically adjusting CPAP machine. That static pressure is gonna increase and decrease based on the algorithm. The algorithm is a fancy way of saying that the CPAP machine thinks you need a higher pressure or thinks you need a lower pressure at any point in time. This here is a ResMed AirSense 11 auto set. It is capable of several different algorithms. We'll get to this a little bit later, but first I do want to thank the sponsor of this channel and this video, CPAPsupplies.com. They supplied me with this AirSense 11 auto set. Super kind of them. I told them I want to do a ton of videos exploring algorithms, exploring, just really reviewing this. So they made that all possible. So if you get a chance, check out CPAPsupplies.com. You can buy all kinds of masks and accessories there. I have a lot of favorites. I'm gonna actually get a favorites list of all the products that I really like that they do carry. Do a quick review on those. But anytime you buy any mask or accessory, you can always use discount code 20lanky. Gets you 20% off. That is huge. Some of these things are $100. 20%, it's gonna save you 20 bucks right off the top. They have other great programs like a loyalty rewards program. They oftentimes have discount codes that are even better than the one they offer me. But I do wanna thank the sponsor of this, CPAPsupplies.com. One of the best things about CPAPsupplies.com that I'm sure they wouldn't care if I shared you, they do want my unbiased opinion. So any product they carry, if I think it sucks and I say it sucks, they're 100% okay with that. They really just want you to know that they're there and to give them a shot. So check out CPAPsupplies.com. So back to this, the AirSense 11 auto set is gonna allow me to try several different algorithms of APAP. Yeah, there's different algorithms. Let me give you some background. I've been against APAP for a very long time, but I wanted to try to clear my head and give APAP another try. Am I missing something? A lot of people say they really like it. One of the gripes people have with me not liking APAP is they say, my logic just doesn't hold up. My logic is actually, could not be more simple. In order for APAP to increase the pressure, it has to detect an airflow reduction. What is that? So when you're breathing, you have nice, big, fully inflated breasts, really high, very rounded. What happens if one goes like this and it's cut off at the top? I'll show you an example of that right now. Well, if that happens, you've already had a sleep disordered breathing event and you've likely already woken up from it. So at that point, what good is APAP? It's like deploying the parachute once you've already hit the ground. It's too late. Once the APAP does finally get you to that pressure, what it does is it slowly starts backing off until, yeah, you have another event and then it slowly starts to increase. So there's several different algorithms. You have the auto set standard response. You have the auto set soft response, which is supposed to go up a little slower. Then you have the auto set for her. That's also supposed to go up slightly slower. I'm really not 100% sure of all the differences of those. I tried to look it up. It's really just not all that important to me. So guess what I did? I personally tried them all and I had to try APAP for a very long time. I typically only get like 3 to 4 hours of sleep. I finally got a stretch where I had like 6 to 8 hours. So I was like, finally, so I get 6 to 8 hours and I move on to the next algorithm. I did everything the exact same. I did not use VCOM. I know some of you lost your crap when I tried VCOM. VCOM was out. I used the Air Touch N20 mask. If you don't know what that is, it is this mask. It is basically the N20, but it has memory foam. Use this mask every single night. Every night I also taped my mouth with a strip of cover roll stretch tape. And the last thing I did is I made sure I stayed on my back for every single one of these pressures. I was sleeping in the supine position. If you're a nerd, supine is back, as opposed to my tum-tum, on every single night. And to start it all off, I did a baseline sample of 11 centimeters of water. That is 1 centimeter lower than what I found my optimal pressure to be. So I also tried my optimal pressure, which is 12 centimeters of water. So in all of these settings, I used no EPR, that's an expiratory pressure relief. I generally don't like that. So I left it off. Everything was the exact same with the exception of the machine settings. Let's take a look at what this looks like. I am fairly certain no one nerds out on this stuff more than I do. I created a whole new profile for my AirSense 11. That's Jawson. AirSense 11. So here's a baseline. This is a little bit under my typical pressure. We have to ignore this because I had a big fatty leak going on. So, you know, a lot of you ask, what should this look like? It should not look like this. So anytime I'm having these big spike ups with a decrease in airflow just prior to it, not a good sign. Is that happening a lot? Yeah, it kind of is. Quite a bit, actually. So I don't want to belabor this too much. Here goes REM. REM is a freaking hot mess. Does not look great. But it's not terrible either. I would not survive long term, but I could on short bursts on 11. So let's take a look at 12. This is my baseline. Now this is my normal sleep. A lot of you want to know, what should sleep look like? It should look like this. Pretty flat, little periods of chop, pretty flat, periods of chop, pretty flat. These little choppy spots are going to be your REM sleep. And the flat spots are going to be your stage 2, stage 3. So here's some nice, pretty well-formed breasts. Nice and rounded on the top like a giant cow udder. See how I avoided saying something like a wiener? We're maturing here on this channel. So if we go through and we look at all this, looks pretty good. Now I'm staying on my back. So I normally don't sleep on my back with 12. I'm normally on my side. So I'm going to expect to see a little bit of problems, but that's okay. APAP's going to solve everything. So yeah, if I was going to be sleeping on my back, I'd probably want to go up to 13. So we have a pretty good airflow desaturation right here. This is going to be like a rira or a hypopnea. But overall, it looks pretty decent. It could definitely be better, but it looks pretty good. All right, so now let's take a look at this. I actually kept notes on it every night. So I'm sorry. So baseline 11, no VCOM, and 20, air touch. Baseline 12, no VCOM, air touch. So this is my first night using AutoSet. Now my leak kind of sucked. Why did it suck? Why would it suck on that night? Possibly because the pressure is too low. Oftentimes people will suck and gasp if they're not on the right amount of pressure, and the tape will peel off. So that's a possibility. Let's look at the details. So this is just the AutoSet mode, and the response is standard. So this is going to be the run-of-the-mill one that you see on the AirSense 10 AutoSet. So how does it look different? Well, for one, the spots that are supposed to be flat aren't quite as flat. We also have, if we look at these waves, at the top of the breath, remember we were looking for the giant nipples. I think that's the analogy I use. These are all pretty flat. Not real great. Now, I thought it was supposed to increase the pressure. Remember let's go ahead and take another look at that. Remember the flattening that we see? It's supposed to increase the pressure. Why am I not seeing that? These are flat. That one finally got its attention. Thank God the algorithm worked, and then it starts going down again. And oh wait, now I started having more, so it goes up again. Good. Oh, and now it's going down again, and now up again. Oh, it's treating me like a freaking yo-yo all night. Well, that's not helpful, is it? So if it would just go up and stay up, wiener joke, it would be a lot better for me in my sleep consolidation. Now, subjectively, I woke up on this night not feeling all that great. Now, it could have been, to be fair, it could have been from this leaking going on. Editing note, I do remember having chipmunk cheeks on several of these nights, and using the VCOM helps me eliminate those. Remember, I did take the VCOM out, which I just remembered, so that's probably what's happening. Let's check out this night. So I used the for her algorithm, so this should be a little kinder and gentler. And what response did I use? The standard response. And the range is going from 8 to 15. I wanted to have plenty of range on the upward end that it could save my life. You can see it never goes higher than 10. So, a lot of airflow desaturations resulting in arousals. Tops of the waves are not bad, but a little flatter than I would like to see. Definitely flatter than I was with 11 and even 12, which is CPAP. So here we have a cluster of arousals. And what did the pressure do? Nothing. It kind of went down and up and down and keeps going down until I wake up again. Look at the flattening on the tops of those waves right before that awakening. We have a cluster right there. And then all of a sudden, as I go into REM, it goes, oh, let me help out and get them a lot higher. And it doesn't really quite get there. I just wake up a lot. Yeah, so REM really looks terrible. REM is definitely not getting me to the high enough pressure. I'm going to deduce from this that the soft response is not going to be much better. So what is this? Auto set. And we have soft response. So I think this is supposed to be similar to the for her, but without the her label, so dudes feel comfortable doing it. I'm a dude. I'm not going to use no for her. But this is 9, like 9 and dropping. And you can see this is actually, there's a lot of what I would consider snores in here, the markers of snoring. Woke up right there, and another one right there, and it says, oh, let's help old Jason out and increase to like by 1 centimeter of water. Pretty gentle increase. Drops again. Why is it dropping, right? It just said, Jocelyn, you need an increase in pressure. Perfect. And let's go ahead and drop down, down, down. Oh, you woke up again? My bad. I shouldn't have done that. Let's increase again. Oh, let's decrease again. Oh, you woke up again? Oh, my bad. So I think my logic is actually quite sound in why I don't, why does it keep going down? I'm waking up hella. Just keeps going down and down and down. And I'll wake up again. I think my logic is quite sound in why I'm not appreciative of APAP. On the last night, I just wanted to go back to a static pressure. So I did 11 again. Leak sucks in that area. Breaths in general are much more full. I really should have done 12. I know I did 12 on the 11th. The 11th, I tried something different. I'm going to save that for a different video. It has nothing to do with this. But we can, certainly, since we just looked at a bunch of data, go back to the 12 on this night, and we can get a good feel for what the breaths look like. Nice and full, nice and rounded. You want nice nippular breaths. These are good. That's what we would hope to see. And by having it on CPAP, we don't even give it the opportunity to decrease pressures. Okay, I'll show you the 11th. You're going to see this in a future video on the 11th. It's an important date. I don't want to tell you what it is. So again, nice round breaths. These breaths are beautiful. Very, very round. Very round breaths equal very good sleep. All right, I'm done nerding out. I invite you to do this experiment on your own. If you're using APAP in general, let's just say you typically get up to about 10. I would say probably try 11 or 12. It's really not very good at picking up the subtle events I have found. So if you usually typically get up to 10, I'd probably try 11. I'd probably try 12. Now, subjectively, I felt much worse using APAP. I felt better than I do if I don't use CPAP, but I don't feel as good as I do when I use the CPAP pressures that are just static all night. I didn't feel as good as when I do that. So I do encourage you to try this little experiment yourself. You can see if you subjectively feel better also using just a static CPAP pressure. If you have any comments or questions, let me know in the comments section down below. If you leave any snarky comments, I'll probably hit you with a your mama joke, because we all know about yo mama. Do me a favor, check out the sponsor, cpapsupplies.com. And last thing is, if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. It definitely helps the reach. And then if you have bell notifications on, you know every time I release a new video. Guys, if you want me to look at your data like I did in this, an Oscar PAP therapy analysis, I do that through my website, AXG Sleep Diagnostics. Anyway, this is getting too long. I appreciate you guys watching. Good night. Thank you to all watching, but an extra thick thanks, buddy, to Doug Toombs, Jason Georgiades, Patricia Espelong, Sarvesh Joshi, Stuart Hetherington, Mona Swearingen, Chungtu Chen, Edward Steiner, and Shannon Kerr, and another slightly less thick thanks, buddy, to all the other YouTube members, Patreon supporters, and other stuff.